You're drowning in debt, right? You tried budgeting, you're cutting expenses, you're picking up every hour you can to make a few extra bucks at work, and you're still feeling like you're sinking in some quicksand. Should I just file for bankruptcy? Well, we're going to talk about it today. In today's episode, it is episode 14 of the Debt to Driven series, where I, a 23-year-old, I'm getting out of debt, and guess what, guys? It's going great. I'm learning a lot. You guys are doing a lot for me. So, yeah, today's video, I'm going to be breaking down when bankruptcies actually make sense and when, maybe you're going to be doing more harm than you are good. Let's just get right into this. We got a lot to talk about. I'll see you over there. First off, I want to say if you have gone bankrupt, it's not that big of a deal. It is a big deal, but I'm going to tell you something. Over 350,000 Americans file for bankruptcy every single year. Some of them might not even have needed to, and maybe you don't need to either if you're thinking about it, or if you did, maybe, let's fix that for the next time, right? There's nothing we can do about the past. We're going to fix it now. So for you, is bankruptcy the right choice or the wrong choice? We're going to get right into that. First, let's make something clear. Bankruptcy isn't a magic, reset button. It's a legal process. It can wipe out certain debts. Different type of bankruptcies do different things. Some take everything out. Some, give you a structured payment plan to pay everything back. So that's where Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 come in. I'm going to put them right up on the screen for you guys so you guys can look into it. But I'm going to show you guys this. Chapter 7, basically, your assets are liquidated. They get paid off. As much debt as possible, and the rest is forgiven. So whatever you owe on credit cards, your car, if you want to give up your car, stuff like that, they auction everything. They get as much money as they can. Whatever's not paid off, that just gets taken out, and you're in debt. Not in debt. Your credit takes a hit for, I believe it's 10 years. So the debt's gone. It can help people out. In some cases, Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you get to keep all your stuff, but you follow a court-approved repayment plan for about 3 to 5 years, which is keeping all your debt, but you're going to be paying more every single month. And, if you don't pay that, you're going to be dealing with the government. Let me tell you. Both can help if you are needing to go bankrupt. They come with a long-term consequence, though. Credit score, financial record. If you're in your 20s, it's gonna show that for 10 years. You're not gonna be able to get a house. You're gonna have to redo the building credit all over again from a lower score. You're not gonna have those credit cards for emergencies and whatnot. So just guys, you gotta be careful on what you're doing. But yes, Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 bankruptcy is just the bankruptcies people use in America. When bankruptcy makes sense, when your debt is completely unmanageable, and if you owe way more than you could ever realistically pay off, even with a side hustle budget, or settlement, bankruptcy might be the way to go, But that's only, you're running 2 jobs, you're working over 70, 80 hours a week, running yourself to death, and you're still just making minimums or not even able to make the minimums. That's when you should be thinking about that. You also want to go to somebody, get a financial breakdown, get an audit, get everything into a budget to know, every single penny you are putting towards your debt will still not be enough. Now, if you're facing lawsuits, wage garnishes, people are calling you and they're suing you because you haven't been paying them. At sometimes they will start just taking right from your paycheck, right from the bank account. And if you can't afford that either, they're going to be calling you, suing you. So if you are getting sued because you physically cannot pay them, like you've tried and you just do not have the money, and it's so much money, it might be for you. Things like credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, these can often be wiped out with bankruptcy. So, your cards, you ran up all the cards, you got a stack of cards, there's so much money on them, you're spending probably $1,000 a month on those minimum payments, and you have a car, and I don't even know how you would have gotten a car with all that debt, but all that could get wiped out. you've tried everything, like I said. Credit counseling, you tried the debt snowball, consolidation, just sometimes it's just good for a fresh start. When you shouldn't file for bankruptcy, this is what typically people are like, yeah, I need to file for bankruptcy. This is the stuff where you should not be filing for bankruptcy. If your debt consists of majority student loans, late taxes, child support, bankruptcy isn't going to do anything for you. You can file for it, but guess what? It's still going to be for you. You're still going to have to pay it. So if you do have both debts, subtract your student loans, what you owe in taxes, if you're paying child support, subtract that all from your debt, and then see how much debt you have left over. If you have steady income and can negotiate repayments, sometimes working with like the credit card companies directly, give them up a call. You can have like a debt management program. Sometimes, they let you do different payment plans and whatnot. They'll tell you what to do. And they do want to help you. They do want it paid off. They want their money back. But yes, they're still going to want that interest. So, call your banking if you need to and just be like, hey, I don't really think I can pay this $70. Maybe, it'd be better for you to get another card that offers, 1 year interest free, all that. You can just move it all over if you have to. If you're overwhelmed by the debt, is also not a reason to go bankrupt. I was overwhelmed. I didn't think this was possible. I was thinking, I might have to file for bankruptcy. Before I started this, I had that Focus ST. I'm currently still paying off, and I haven't drove it more than probably 3 miles in about almost a year. So it's probably got 200 miles on it in a year. So stuff like that, like I said, if once you get a budget plan, you might be able to manage it a lot better. There is no reason to nuke your whole credit for the next 10 plus years because, maybe you don't want to get a budget plan. Maybe you just think it's easier to get rid of everything, but it's not. So the consequences of that, let's be real here. Like I said, stays on your report for 10 years. It can make it harder to get approved for loans, rent an apartment, certain jobs. Sometimes, like, let's say I'm trying to go to a banking job. Guess what? They might say they're not checking your stuff, but dude, if you file for bankruptcy and they know even a little bit about that, they're not going to want you in a financial spot. You're not going to have extra money for anything, You have a car right now, you go bankrupt, you keep that car, guess what? 10 years from now, it's probably not going to still be alive, especially when you're living in New York. It's not the end of the road for everybody that files bankruptcy. Many people rebuild their credits after a few years, and, you got to learn from your mistake. If you're just signing that paper, you're probably not learning from your mistake. But like I said, guys, if you have filed for bankruptcy or if you need to file for bankruptcy, you're not a failure. It's a tool there. And like any tool, it can build, it can destroy. Just got to use it correctly. So guys, when you're talking about your bills, your finances, your debt, and you're like, you got that stupid voice in the back of your head of bankruptcy, take a look into it. I promise you guys, if you do not need to go bankrupt and you can start paying this down, it's going to feel a lot better than no credit, no cards, not able to get a loan for anything. If you're thinking about filing, there's certified bankruptcy attorneys and credit counselors that I would talk to because they are not going to lie to you. They get paid to tell you the right answer. They would not have let's say if you had a job at, let's just say you were a mechanic, right? And you are giving out the wrong opinions on everything, you're not getting work. So if these people are getting clients, obviously they have done and made the right decision for other people. So be careful who you talk to. Do not talk to friends, family about it. You can, obviously, but the final decision should go through some sort of bankruptcy attorney and a budget certified guy. Getting out of debt isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Right now, my debt history, sloppy. You guys know that. It looks rough. But I was able to get a better plan. Actually thinking, my biggest mindset is money. Every single day I wake up, money, 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 money. So guys, I was able to put in a plan, and with a little over 2 months, I'm down to 1 credit card left to pay, and then it's just my car, and we're done. Progress, progress, progress. If you found any of this helpful, guys, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts or questions. Subscribe to follow the journey here, because we got some big things planned eventually once we get this debt gone. I have a Discord link down below if you want to join. We can talk about your finances in a Discord call if you want for videos, or just, have some conversation sometime. So guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.